When I played for the Cincinnati Bengals, I just remember it was at the end of the Chuck Noll era. We would beat the Pittsburgh Steelers repeatedly. But then the tide would turn in '92 when Bill Cowher became the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, let's not jive ourselves about the state of the so-called rivalry.
The Pittsburgh Steelers would go on to just kind of brutalize the Cincinnati Bengals from that time right up until 2005.
Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, a playoff site for the first time. And it has been 15 years since the Bengals experienced the postseason. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati are about to collide in the wild card round.
This was one of the 2 or 3 best Bengals teams in history.
Because Carson Palmer
led the league this year with 32 touchdown passes.
He was lighting things up.
And Hoosh and Chad Johnson and
Ocho Cinco.
And Chris Henry.
Man, they had an offense.
This stood as the best team that we had seen in quite some time.
They're about to rule the day.
The Bengals were supposed to win this game in Cincinnati.
And I just remember that day, getting up that morning, thinking, you know what? All the beatings that the Bengals had taken, that's about to come to an end.
And looking long right side. Come on.
Carson Palmer hit a deep ball to Chris Henry.
Unleash him on the second offensive play of the game for the Bengals.
Got Chris Henry out there, got it inside the 40, inside the 30.
The Bengals were feeling really good going into that one. They were in attack mode. They weren't going to try and survive against the big division bully.
Wait a minute. We look back.
Carson Palmer is down.
Carson Palmer is on the ground.
Carson Palmer is wriggling around.
The way Carson Palmer's down on the field way back by the goal line, you looked at the replays, and it turned out a devastating knee injury.
Kimo Van Olhoffen put the hit on Carson Palmer.
Kimo Van Olhoffen.
Now, Kimo ID tackled the guy who hurt Carson Palmer. He felt bad.
He was merely trying to make a play.
I'm sure the Cincinnati Bengals in their sideline felt like he did that on purpose, but it wasn't like that with Kimo. Kimo was never that kind of guy.
I'm searching on the sideline. They don't have another Carson Palmer on the sideline.
They're warming up Kitna. Palmer injured on only the second snap.
The head of that team has gone.
John Kitna is in, which changes everything for them from a standpoint of what they can do offensively.
And I can tell you right now, panic set in for every single citizen of the Queen City.
It don't matter who we got to put out there. We going to win this damn game.
And this one is good.
The Steelers went down 10.
Little 1st and 10, delay to Rudy. Left side, inside the 15, breaks out of a tackle, inside the 10, going left side. Touchdown, Rudy! Rudy. Without Carson Palmer at quarterback, they got to go to Big Rudy Johnson.
I thought now this has an extra layer of sorrow for me. Now I'm embarrassed. We're going to lose to John Kitna?
What I tell you before the game?
Early in the season, the Bengals visited Heinz Field, and at the end of the game, when it was all settled, T.J. Houshmandzadeh produced a terrible towel.
I remember T.J. Houshmandzadeh taking that terrible towel and cleaning his shoes with it.
On his way to the stadium that day, when he was leaving his hotel in the elevator, he bought it for $200 from a Steelers fan, and he shined his shoes with it.
He wiped his cleats with a terrible towel.
And I'm thinking, you know, I played for Pittsburgh, and I know the fans there, and I know the players there. That could come back to haunt you, TJ.
We kept a mental note of that, and we brought that to the field.
3rd and 6. In the end zone, has his man, Houshmandzadeh. Touchdown, Cincinnati.
It's cool. We knew they was going to get their shots.
The Bengals are on fire despite the absence of Carson Palmer.
Keep coming at it.
This our kind of party. This what we like. I'm not trying to go home right now. I'm trying to see what this Super Bowl life like. Now, how we going to get to the Super Bowl? We got to win this game.
2nd down and 3, and he's going deep. Chad Johnson the target, and it bounces away.
The Pittsburgh Steelers love to match up Ike Taylor against Chad Johnson.
Chad Ocho, man, in his prime, was probably one of the quickest, fastest, 6 foot, 180-something pound guys I've ever seen.
They believe Ike Taylor is athletic enough, fast enough, because you better be fast when you cover Chad Johnson.
He was super confident on the field also, so I took that as a challenge.
Chad Johnson with no catches to this point. First one thrown in his direction.
John Kidney came in, man, he made a few plays, so it looked like it wasn't a drop-off. But then we started attacking.
For Palmer. And Polamalu has the interception.
Totally redeem yourself.
He's back in the shotgun by himself. He throws it for the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Hines Ward.
But the Steelers really were predicated on a dominant defense and a running attack. They would grind you in the second half.
Bettis. Look at the nifty move. He is in. No denying Jerome Bettis.
And this sense of woe had come over all of the Cincinnati Bengals fans who were in the stadium that day.
You could feel them start to gag. Bengals are starting to self-destruct. They're really withering under the pressure.
Snap it to Antoine Randall. He's going to throw it back to Ben. Ben on the left side. Going to throw it downfield. A man wide open. And we've got a Pittsburgh Steelers touchdown.
Wow.
That's Cedric Wilson.
They call that triggeration. Wildcat before the Wildcat.
And that was when you knew the game was over.
Everyone sort of almost ready to participate in a funeral procession.
One more kneel down, and we'll try to be the first team since 1985 to win 3 road games to make it to the Super Bowl.
We love being the underdogs. We always felt like it was us against the world.
They embraced this road mentality. No one believes in us outside this locker room thing.
And all I can remember was Coach Bill Cowher running off the field that day in Cincinnati. And the Cincinnati Bengals fans would always say, "Who dey? Who dey?" Bill Cowher, he would turn to the Bengals fans in the stands as he was running off the field saying, "Who dey? We dey."
Who dey? We dey. Who dey? We dey.